Today I will show you how to make the Solea bag. Before you begin, take a moment to check that all the elements in your kit match the reference sheet included with the set. To give the edges a clean and elegant look, we first need to finish them. Take the edge beveler and place it against the leather at a slight angle. Carefully bevel the edges of the leather. Try to keep a steady angle and make long, smooth movements. Turn the piece over and bevel the edge from the flesh side as well. Some pieces may require a little more pressure. Remember that not every edge needs to be beveled on both sides. Check the reference sheet included in your kit. Take your time with this step. The more attention you give to the edges, the better the final result will look. Now we can smooth and polish the edges. Apply a small amount of water with your fingers. Then use the wooden slicker and rub the edge back and forth. Do not press too hard. Continue until the edge feels smooth under your finger. Some edges are burnished after sewing, marked in red on reference card, so keep an eye on those parts as we continue. Repeat the same process for the remaining pieces. Now prepare the thread. Cut a piece about 4 times the length of the seam you are about to sew. You will need 2 needles. Thread 1 needle onto each end of the thread. Pierce the thread and pull it tight to secure the needle. Repeat the same on the other side. You should now have a needle on both ends of the thread. Now we can begin sewing. Align the first pieces and hold them in place with a paper clip. To protect the leather, place the linen pouch between the clip and the surface. Start stitching using a saddle stitch. Let's look at the stitch up close. I'm using contrasting colors here, so it's easier to follow and learn. Insert 1 needle through the first hole, keeping the thread even on both sides. Bring the needle at the back through the next hole so that both needles are now at the front of the piece. Hold the thread in place. Then take the needle from the first hole and pass it over the thread in the second hole, taking care not to pierce it. Pull both threads gently but firmly. This creates your first stitch. Continue in the same way with the stitches that follow. After a few stitches, the movement will begin to feel natural. Each time, pull the front thread downward and pass the needle over it. This helps keep the seam neat and even. This is the part where the stitch starts to behave. A few more stitches and the rhythm begins to settle in. Just a clean seam taking shape. One stitch, then the next. The rest follows. By now, the movement should feel a little more familiar. When you reach the end, go back one needle and one hole so that both ends of the thread are on the inside and form a double seam. Cut the thread, leaving 2 or 3 millimeters of excess. Gently singe the ends and immediately press them into the leather to flatten them. This will secure the end of the seam. You will finish the seam in 2 situations: when the seam is complete or when you reach the end of your thread. If you run out of thread, finish the seam in the same way, then continue from the same hole where you stopped. Sew on as before. Work slowly and repeat the same motion. Once you reach the end of the seam, secure it by sewing back through one hole. Do the second stitch the same way. Now the flap is fully attached to the back of the bag. Take the small leather pieces and fold them in half. Apply a small amount of water to the edge and burnish it, keeping both ends together as shown. This long piece is the bag's gusset. Place the D-ring between the layers and sew the piece to the gusset. Sew it to the inner side. Trim the thread leaving about 2 or 3 millimeters. Carefully melt the ends and press them gently into the leather. This creates small plugs that prevent the seam from coming undone. Repeat the same process with the second D-ring. Now prepare the magnetic closure. Insert the magnets into the leather slots as shown. Bend the prongs to secure them in place. You can use the wooden slicker to press and flatten the backside. Cover the back of the magnet with the matching leather patch. The front of the bag is now ready. Repeat the same process with the second part of the closure. After installing the magnetic snap, turn the small piece over and sew it to the flap piece. Now take the larger D-ring, place it as shown, and sew the pieces together. Now attach the assembled section to the flap. Align the pieces carefully. Start sewing from the center and slowly move toward the sides. Take your time here and make sure the pieces stay aligned. Continue sewing along the edge. While sewing a single layer of leather, tighten the stitches with caution. The flap is almost ready. Burnish the edge of the flap using the slicker. Now we can connect the flap section to the gusset. Before sewing, gently fold the gusset along the seam line. This helps the leather take its final shape and makes stitching easier. Sew the back and the gusset together. This is one of the longer seams, so work slowly and carefully. Pay extra attention around the curves and make sure you do not skip any holes. If needed, use a paper clip to keep the pieces aligned. Sewing through 3 layers of leather might be a little harder. Take your time in such cases. Secure the seam in the same way as before. Bend the gusset on the other side as well. Now attach the front piece to the rest of the bag. This seam might be a little challenging. Go slowly and make sure you're not skipping any holes. Once you reach the end, secure the seam as before. Trim the thread and carefully melt the ends. Gently work the leather with your hands so the shape settles naturally. And just like that, your Solea bag is ready. Take a moment to look at your work. Every stitch you see was made by your own hands. Well done! Now, the same model in 4 different colors. Same pattern, 4 moods. See which one feels most like you.